New companies and partnerships in Indiana can mean more than an improved business climate. They may also one day mean life-saving drugs that can fight cancer and other diseases. Barbara Lewis joins us now with a Business of Health interview that gives a great example of what a life sciences initiative can mean.
Thank you, Gary. ComChem Technologies Incorporated is taking a discovery on how cells communicate to see if that discovery can lead to drugs that can control cell growth. Now, those drugs could have a major impact on fighting cancer. So joining me to talk about ComChem's work is Dr. Joseph Garlich, President and Chief Scientific Officer. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you, Barb.
I know this is a very complicated answer, but I have a very simple question. Tell us a little bit about cell signaling and how that would work in drug development.
Sure. All the cells in your body, Barb, are in communication with each other and with their environment. And this communication takes the form of molecules that cross cell membranes and allow the cell to decide whether it should multiply and divide, or whether it should die, or whether it should recruit a new blood supply, or whatever the case may be. And so these cell signaling processes are based on molecules. They can be large molecules like proteins, or they can be small molecules like glucose, for example. And so an example of this might be tumor cells. A metastatic tumor group cluster of cells would only be able to grow to about the size of the head of a pin. In order to grow larger than that, these cells would need to recruit a new blood supply. To do that, what they would do is send out signals, cell signals, that would allow nearby blood vessels to grow and greet and meet them and allow them to be nourished and grow further. And that's a bad thing, of course, when you're trying to treat cancer. And so cell signaling is an important process in for example, cancer advancement. So there's different importance levels to different types of cell signaling. We use the military example. For example, the general in the military has a walkie-talkie, and he can command the troops. He can tell those troops to commit suicide. He can tell them to lay down their arms and surrender, or he can order those troops to go fight. So that's a very powerful way of communicating, like cell signaling. Alternatively, at a much diminished level, a platoon leader might command a group of 6 to 12 soldiers with a walkie-talkie. Same type of signaling, but it's much less importance, because he could still order them to lay down their arms, but in the terms of the war, it would have very little impact.
So you're looking for the, you're going to kind of get these generals and let them do the commands and not. So let's talk a little bit about where you are with the development of this drug, and also you had a partnership that you announced this week. So where are you in terms of making these drugs become a reality?
Right. So what has happened at the IU School of Medicine is Dr. Durden there has uncovered this general's walkie-talkie of cell signaling, and that could lead to important advances in treating cancer. So ComChem has formed a partnership with IU School of Medicine, where we've got exclusive license now to that technology that they have discovered. The key is to turn that biological discovery, which is not a drug, it's a discovery and understanding, turn that into something that we can turn into a chemical, a drug, a marketable treatment for cancer.
Okay. So with this step of partnering now, then, is then the search, now that the discovery's been made, go ahead and try to develop the drugs, and that's where ComChem comes in?
Right. The partnership exists, and now we ComChem are developing new drugs. We're making new molecules. We're testing them in animals. We have already initial animal data in tumor models, brain tumors we've been able to treat in mice. So we're progressing nicely.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Joe Garlich. Thank you for coming in and telling us about this exciting venture.
Thank you.
Well, and if you'd like to know more, just come to InsideIndianaBusiness.com.